Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into a seriously ambitious DIY project. If you're the kind of person who absolutely loves seeing raw, completely untamed materials transformed into something highly functional, well, you're going to be fascinated by this. We are breaking down a project titled Man Builds Amazing DIY Container Workshop Start to Finish, created by the builder at Bentheim Boards. Okay, let's just jump right into this because the way this whole object is presented to us is totally unique and honestly kind of brilliant.
I want you to just picture the sheer scale of what we're talking about here for a second. What does it actually take to build an amazing workshop from absolutely nothing? Because we aren't talking about, slapping together a bookshelf from a flat pack or throwing a fresh coat of paint on a spare bedroom. We are talking about taking a giant, heavy, industrial shipping container, literally a hollow box of corrugated steel, and single-handedly wrangling it into a fully functional workspace. Just think about the heavy lifting involved. The sparks flying, the precise cutting, the measuring, the sheer physical and mental endurance required to pull off a project of this magnitude. It's a monumental task.
And that brings us right to the core of our source material today, the Container Workshop Vision.
So let's establish exactly who and what we're analyzing. This isn't your run-of-the-mill workshop build. It's defined as the ultimate start-to-finish transformation. The absolute driving force behind this massively ambitious build is the creator known as at Bentheim Boards. He's the visionary and, more importantly, the guy actually getting his hands dirty. And this entire massive undertaking is presented to the world by the Quantum Makers channel. They're the platform showcasing this incredible feat of everyday engineering and just raw personal determination.
Now, the specific language used in the project's title is actually really interesting. It uses phrases like the ultimate transformation and amazing DIY container workshop. The creator definitely isn't holding back on the promise here. Throwing around the word amazing sets a pretty incredibly high bar, right? It promises us, the viewers, that this isn't just a minor garage tweak or a slightly reorganized garden shed. It's a complete and total metamorphosis. We're going from an empty, rusted metal shell into something spectacular. It's a bold claim, and it sets the stage for a seriously dramatic visual journey. Let's move along and see how this all builds into the promised timeline of the project, a start-to-finish journey. The literal promise of the title is that we get to see everything from point A all the way to point Z. You've got step 1, the start, that raw, incredibly intimidating shipping container just sitting there in the dirt. And you've got step 3, the finish, that promised amazing workshop. But it's step 2, the actual DIY process, where the real magic happens. And here is where our explainer takes a really fascinating turn. Because usually, in a step-by-step tutorial, step 2 is jam-packed with granular, spoken carpentry details, right? You get measurements, tool recommendations, step-by-step vocal instructions. But as we're about to see, at Bentheim Boards takes a completely different, highly stylized approach to sharing his process.
This contrast is just brilliant, and it perfectly illustrates what I mean. If you look at the heavy, industrial, and highly descriptive project title and then compare it directly to the actual literal transcript of the instructions provided during the build, well, it reads, no. It's striking. And honestly, it's pretty hilarious. You go in expecting this dense textbook lecture on metalworking, and instead, the transcript reveals something entirely nonverbal. It is a completely phonetic experience. Which is the perfect segue into understanding the true nature of this presentation. Let's look at the sounds of creation.
So here's the crucial point. This totally chaotic string of text is the actual soundtrack of the creator's hard work. Oh, ah, he, ah, wa, oh, go, the he, oh, 3, the you, my. There is literally not a single spoken traditional instructional word in this entire start-to-finish process. 0. Instead, what we get is the pure, unfiltered rhythm of DIY execution. It's the literal sound of exertion. It's the background hum of a high-speed time-lapse, the grunts of heavy lifting, the ambient noise of pure creation. It essentially forces us to stop waiting for someone to explain it to us and instead just sit back and enjoy the visual process happening right before our eyes.
We can essentially, and maybe just a little bit humorously, divide this abstract soundtrack into distinct build phases. Think about it. Phase 1, the beginning, sounds like, oh, Maybe that's the initial heavy lifting, the first striking of metal, taking those deep breaths as you start a massive job. Then phase 2 transitions into no, which totally sounds like hitting a snag, right? A moment of physical resistance, or maybe the intense focus of cutting through thick corrugated steel. Phase 3 gives us he, which represents this steady, repetitive rhythm. You've found the groove of construction, and the workshop is really starting to take shape. And finally, Phase 4 wraps up with 3, my. The finishing touches, the final sigh of relief, the actual completion of the amazing workshop. The audio track visually and audibly evolves from start to finish, literally right alongside the physical building.
Okay, let's quickly recap what we've unpacked from this incredibly unique presentation. First and foremost, this project completely prioritizes pure action over words. @Bendheim Boards doesn't tell you how he built it, he simply shows you. Second, it delivers absolutely on the visual start-to-finish journey promised in the title, stepping back and letting the craftsmanship speak for itself. Third, instead of a dry traditional lecture, we get this wild, abstract soundtrack of pure exertion, turning a standard DIY tutorial into a rhythmic, almost hypnotic experience. And finally, this whole creative endeavor is driven by @Bendheim Boards and brought to us by Quantum Makers.
Which leaves us with this final, genuinely provocative thought to ponder. We are so incredibly used to being told exactly how to do things step by step, word by word. But this amazing container workshop build proves that sometimes the absolute most captivating way to learn and observe is simply by watching a master at work, accompanied by nothing but the raw, beautifully abstract sounds of their own exertion. It's visual learning in its purest form. It totally challenges the way we think about sharing and consuming massive DIY projects. So I'll leave you with this. Does true mastery actually require any words at all?